For great ideas and practical tools you can start using tomorrow to grow your business and separate you from the competition, you've come to the right place. If you're into B2B marketing and sales, then welcome to the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast. With over 60 and counting total years in the trenches of businesses small and large, they have a plethora of knowledge and experience that generate you more leads, capture more clients, ring up more sales. Well, doggone it, just make you more money. How about that? Always thought-provoking, yet dubiously entertaining. Please welcome to their respective microphones across 3 time zones, your co-ringmasters, the Dave Loomis, and not the rock star, Steve Miller.
Hey everybody, this is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad, marketing gunslinger, and not the rock star. I am not the rock star. I'll tell you who is the rock star on this station, ladies and gentlemen. I've got the rock star right here, Mr. Voice himself, Mr. David. I want to make up a middle name for you, but anyway, but I also know what your middle name is, so right. I'm just going to go ahead and go with it, David Mayo Loomis. Okay,
right, exactly.
And not today, but there's got to be a story behind that middle name. But Mr. Loomis, you are. You gotta bring us in with our regular opening here. Come on, bring it.
Sure. Okay. How about the Dave Loomis?
Thank you very much. And now we can officially start this thing. However, I have an issue.
Okay.
Normally we have a topic when we get started on something like this, and I am what's the word? Recalcitrant. I'm not even sure if that is a word, but I'm making it up right now.
It is a word.
I don't have a topic. Do you have a topic that we can talk about today? Any chance?
It's a great question.
No?
I think I might be able to pull something out.
Anything?
Somebody sent me a review copy, a preview copy of a book. Maybe we could talk about that.
We've never really talked about a book before.
No, not it's exactly. But this is a preview copy of a book.
Okay, very interesting.
It's orange, which is neat because it's in your your brand colors.
Wait,
it's called Stealing Genius: The 7 Levels of Adaptive Innovation, and it's by somebody with a very similar name as yours.
Similar name. Be still my beating heart.
Steve Miller.
Be still my beating heart. Yeah.
Did you write this book and send me a preview copy?
I wrote that book. I wrote every word in that book except the words have more than one syllable. I had an editor who would put words in to make it sound more intelligent.
I see. Okay, so things like the, of, a, those are all your words. And anything that's bigger than that.
I take credit for all of those.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Well,
so let's
what do you think
talk about my book.
Talking about this book?
It's new.
It is. It's brand new. Is it out yet?
It is. Well, while we're recording this, it's not out yet. It will be out in 7 days from when we're recording this, which means that by the time this gets uploaded, it's probably out.
Fantastic. So. Which means anybody listening, if they know what they're doing, they're going to Google Stealing Genius, Steve Miller, and they're going to go to their favorite place to buy books.
Favorite place.
And they're going to buy whatever format book they want, and they are going to get so much out of this because I loved this book.
Did you read this book?
Oh, yeah. Oh. I read it cover to cover, and I probably read certain things more than once.
More than once. Well, that's really cool. Apparently, my smoking hot wife sent you a copy because I don't remember sending you a copy.
But... Yeah, no, I got it.
That's good.
And I read it right away and loved it. And I'm basically going to steal everything in it.
That's what it's for. That's what it's for.
Okay.
I encourage everybody from day one, from writing on Copyable and everything else I've ever done. I always say, just steal what I'm teaching you. That's what it's for. Steal it.
Perfect. And it's stealing is actually in the title of this one.
That's right.
Can you just, what if you had to explain, what it's about. What is Stealing Genius?
Well, let me paint a picture for you, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. Oh, that means I should be going outside to check on the cat that is outside in his own tent, but I am not going to do that. So I'm just going to turn that off.
Okay,
I'll check him after we're done.
Okay.
I'm going to paint a picture, and you tell me if this sounds familiar to you.
Okay.
Because I've been in these meetings, and where you're in a company, and since we are a marketing, and sales, let's stick with marketing as kind of the central topic here. So let's say that we want to improve our marketing, or we want to come up with a marketing campaign. And so we set up this meeting, we bring in all the people who are supposed to be involved in something like this. And we have a flip chart up on the wall, on the back of the room, and we stand up there and we say, okay, we're going to brainstorm a new idea to market our widget. All right.
Yeah.
And so the guy stands up and he says, okay, let's start brainstorming.
Yep. Yeah, I've been in a lot of those meetings, and unless they're set up right, they don't result in a lot of breakthrough ideas. What they result in my opinion, is a lot of incrementalism, what I would call incrementalism. And hey, maybe some of them are successful, some of the ideas, and they juice the sales, 2 or 5%. But they're not going to turn things around. They're not going to turn heads of customers. They're not going to set you apart and make you uncopyable, which is your word.
Right.
So what can people do instead of that?
Well, first of all, here's the thing. See, one of the things is we need to recognize what our heuristics are. And heuristics basically means how we see the world, right? And when we work in an industry, for example, and let's use the hotel industry, for example, and you work in the hotel industry. Well, okay, what types of trade shows do you go to?
Hotel trade shows.
Hotel trade shows. Okay, what type of conferences do you go to?
Pretty much hotel conferences.
Hotel conferences. What type of magazines do you read?
Hospitality.
How about blog posts? How about forums or groups that you join or anything like that?
This is my business, so I'm going to be knee deep in it.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I don't fault people for that, but there's an issue with it. And that issue is that we basically develop incest within our box. And folks, this is the box everybody's talking about. Whatever industry you're in, whatever marketplace you are in, that is a box. And inside that box are all the meetings, all the publications, all the communications, all your competitors are in there, your customers are in there, everybody's in there, but they're all living and looking at the same things.
Hey, I've got a great idea. How about we come up with a frequent stay program for our hotel?
Yeah.
Just like everyone else, and people get points.
Yeah.
And we call it a clever name.
We'll come up. Yeah. Call it Bonvoy.
Exactly. Let's call it that.
That's way different than Hilton's.
Oh, way different.
Way different than Hilton's, because it's Bonvoy, right?
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. They're all the same.
Yeah, when I mean, like, think about because another example in the hospitality, like for example, was say who came out with the Heavenly Bed?
I don't know. I forget.
Westin Hotels came out with the Heavenly Bed. They came out with this big, fanfare brouhaha about that they were going to have this beautiful bed in everybody's room. Okay. Well, guess what? Next thing you know, somebody else has got a sleep number bed, and then somebody else has the feather pillow. Blah blah blah.
That's not uncopyable.
No, they're not uncopyable. That's the thing. Those are all copyable, and that's what happens is that we become incestuous in our industries, and we either look at incremental improvement on maybe even something that we have done, or we might pick out something somebody else has done, and it's incremental improvement. And the one thing that I stress in the book is that improvement is not innovation. Improvement is exactly what it sounds like. It's just something that's a little bit better. Okay. Innovation is new. It's different. But how are you supposed to come up with these new ideas? Well, if all you do is stay inside your box, you're not going to come up with new ideas. You have to go, what you need to do is go out and climb into other people's boxes to get ideas. You go, if you are in the hospitality.
Is that legal?
You know what? I don't care.
Just knock first.
Yes, please just knock first and then go into their box.
Yes.
And this is going in the wrong direction. But anyway, but you see, you go in and you find ideas. Like if you think about marketing, you look at marketing campaigns, you look at the way people are branding themselves, the way they're using language, the way they're using design, things like that. And you go in there and what you'll realize is you're looking inside somebody. If you're a hospitality, for example, and you go into a medical industry box, or you go into a food industry box, or you go into an aeronautical box or automobile box or something like that. Yeah. You're going to walk in there and you're going to see stuff and you're going to go, holy crap, that is really cool.
Yeah. We don't do that. That companies should just pick any old other company or industry to benchmark, or should they go through a process and think about it and then choose one that for a reason?
Well, as like I said, when you and I were kind of offline and stuff is we came up with a very clever subtitle of the 7 levels of adaptive innovation. And this provides you 7 different ways to be able to do this, from the simplest to the most difficult. And the simplest way to do this is to first start out with a problem or a challenge. Okay. And let's just start out with something like, marketing. We'll just say, hey, we want to create a marketing campaign or a marketing promise or something that is going to knock the socks off our place. Okay. And the question you ask is, what company do we know of anywhere in any industry except our own who is absolutely knocking it out of the park as a marketer? And then you start to make a list of these types of companies, and you start to say, who is the best at, because part of marketing, for example, you might say target marketing. Who is the best at target marketing? And then go study them. Now, it does take some time to start to figure this stuff out. I understand. But to give you an example, for example, anyway, like I brought a bunch of clients to Seattle, and I said, we're going to go to a Seattle Mariners baseball game. And I want you, and I got a suite for us. Right. And so we're in this suite. And when everybody came in, I said, okay, you have to leave for a minimum of 3 innings. And I want you to be out in the ballpark, and I want you to come back to me, and I want you to tell me every single target market that they have and how they are reaching out to these people. And here's the interesting thing about ballparks. Major league ballparks are great examples. The best examples are minor league ballparks. The AA ballparks.
Yeah, they do some really creative things, especially for families.
Yeah, because they have a terrible product. See, and they know that. We go to see the Seattle Mariners to see the big players, right? And all the big names. And when another team comes to town, we go to see them, all right? But if you go into a ballpark and you ask and you start to look around, you'll realize that they have marketing going on to multiple audiences, but they are set up to where you only see which audience you are a part of. Like, how many people do you think know that it's very common for a Major League Baseball team to have a knitting section?
I did not know that.
See, exactly my point. See, knitting, it's oddly enough, there are a lot of people who love to watch baseball and knit.
Okay.
And so there are ballparks, and they don't do it all the time, but they do it occasionally. There are ballparks where they set up sections for people who want to come and watch the game while they're knitting. And so what are they doing? They're sitting with their people. They're sitting among their peeps.
Yes.
Who are all knitting.
Okay.
See, that's, or if you go to a game and you are single, you see signage that all of a sudden, like at the Seattle Mariners, it's the center field porch is what it's called.
Yes.
And it's just nothing but a mosh pit for singles. I don't think a single one of them ever watched the game.
Now, so what is the stealing genius part of that? Those observations
is that you need to be laser beam focused on your moose. You can have more than one kind of moose, and maybe you want to use different terminology. I have a client back in Pennsylvania, and they have moose, they have bear, and they have rabbits. Okay. Yeah, well, the same thing. So, and the thing is with each one of them, the experience is different. The messaging is different. Okay. The services that they provide are different. Everything is laser beam focused on the moose. And that's, learning from watching other, great companies that do stuff like that. You and I talked earlier, and I know that, we're really chatting a lot here, but I want to bring this up. You and I chatted earlier about the Grateful Dead.
Yes, I have another book that I'm actually reading. No offense, because
please yours, do. I want you to please read.
Which is by Barry. This is a book by Barry Barnes called "Everything I Know About Business I Learned from the Grateful Dead," sent to me by my friend Susan Kahn in New York City, and it's amazing. But you reference a few of the things in your book that are in this book. And I find those fascinating.
There were a couple of things. Number one was, I use this is one of the levels of adaptive innovation. I don't remember which number it is, but it's a level that I call flip the competition. Is it 5? You're looking it up right now.
It's 5. It's level 5.
Level 5.
Oh no! You know what?
What?
It's chapter 5.
Oh,
but it's Stealing Genius level 4.
Level 4, then. Yeah.
So
level 4. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. My fault. So, and to tie this in with what we just talked about with the moose, for example, is that in this one, see, the Grateful Dead realized they were not a chart-topping band.
They didn't sell a lot of records.
No, and they were starting back in the days when records were the way bands made money. Okay, and bands would go on tour to primarily promote record sales.
Right.
All right. And Grateful Dead realized, well, you know what, they've only had maybe 2 top 10, top 20 records or something like that.
Touch of Grey was their only top 10 hit.
Truckin'. Wasn't Truckin' a top 10?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It might have been like a top 20, top 50 or something like that. But that was it.
Yeah.
But what they asked themselves was, if we flip the competition, in other words, what that means is look at what the competition is doing and do the exact opposite. And in Grateful Dead's case, they said, all right, our competition is making money from records. We will make money from concerts. And how do you make money from concerts? Well, you have to make sure that your concerts are full all the time. But primarily, it was, we need repeat customers. That's what we need.
Yeah, and how would you do that if you're playing the same songs over and over at every single concert?
Yeah.
How would you do that? Like, because that's what everybody was doing.
My Smoking Hot Wife, Kay, and we are going to go see Brandi Carlile next month. Okay. I have no illusion about ever seeing Brandi Carlile again, except for a long time, right? But the Grateful Dead realized, like you said, okay, instead of playing the same rotation of songs at every single concert, they played different music, and they did a lot of what was it called? Strategic
improvisation. Yes. Yes.
So
they did that musically, and they did that business wise,
experientially too.
Yes.
So they did that. So the music changed at every single venue. The one thing that they did, like if you go to for years, you go to a venue, you go to a concert, and there's signs everywhere. No photography, no video, no nothing. I mean, a lot of them now make you, they make you, check your phone when you go in. But the Grateful Dead did the exact opposite. They said, record all you want. And in fact, if you want to professionally record us, we will let you in early. And you can come up and put your equipment up right behind our soundboards up there, near the stage. And please share with all of your friends.
Right. They asked people not to commercially, profit from it, which for the most part, people didn't. If you had a tape, or it was someone made the tape for you and gave it to you, you had exchanges. There was a lot of barter, but not a lot of money changed hands. But so it also just spread. That was the brand spread through those exchanges. Yeah.
So in other words, if I want, one of the things that I might try to do is I might say, like, look, do I have a really, really intense competitor? Or is everybody in my industry, do they just all do the same thing? Do they all approach the marketplace the same way? Do they all deliver the same way?
Like I sell tires, okay?
Yeah.
And what do? I charge for the tires. I charge you $200, $250, $300, even more, $500, per tire, right? I charge you. That's how I make my money. Right. I sell tires. Someone else puts it on. Okay, let's flip that. I give away the tires for free, or I give them away for $10, $20 a tire, but then I sign you up for a subscription to service for the life of that tire.
Right.
And you can come in any time, but you're paying for that subscription, and you get air, you get even a replacement tire. If something happens to it, you can make all sorts of stuff up. But you can make money in different ways,
and maybe it's even across the country or something like that. You create a network of tire companies, and
exactly
that way. So no matter where you are, you've got this. You're covered.
You are covered.
Right. Yep. So there's a really quick example of what I'm talking about. You take the idea, you steal the idea, and then you bring it back to your world. And you figure out a way to make it happen in your world. And when you do it, here's a couple of things that happen. Number one is most of the people that see you doing this are going to criticize you. They're going to say, "Hey, that's not the way it's done around here."
They're just jealous.
Well, yeah, and they're stuck in it. They are not going to change either. And odds are they'll say, "I'm not going to do that." They're going to be out of business in no time. And yet there are examples all over the place of companies who have done stuff like this. And so the basic genesis of the book, Stealing Genius, is that I want to teach you how to come up with new ideas in many different ways, to go out and steal, find companies, find organizations, find people. Okay. Why am I orange? You know why I'm orange? Because Mary Kay Ash was pink. Mary Kay Cosmetics focused on making pink ubiquitous in the cosmetics world. Okay. In my world, we've pushed orange out there, and it's worked amazingly.
Yeah. Amazingly. For those of you that can't see, Steve has tattooed his entire body orange.
That's right.
He's permanently dyed himself orange as a brand statement.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It looks great on you.
Yeah. So I mean,
there's
it's a lot of stuff.
There's seven levels, right?
What's that?
There's 7 levels.
7 levels of adaptive innovation.
So do you have a favorite? What's your favorite level?
Well, my favorite is the first. Okay, my favorite is not the 7th level, the 6th level.
6th level.
The 6th level to me is what is in another term. I don't even know. know if I use this in the book, but I call it like black belt stealing genius. And black belt means that you become just totally automatically aware of your environment everywhere that you go. And no matter where you go, your radar is up for the potential for new ideas. You might find a new idea at a fast food restaurant. You might find it at a department store. You might find it at a fine restaurant. You might find it in a bus station. I don't know where you'll find it, but the point being is that no matter where you are, your radar is up and you are always on alert for, oh my gosh, that's really cool. How can I steal that?
Now, can I be that black belt?
I would love for you to be a black belt.
No, what I mean is, can I just flip a switch and automatically I'm a black belt?
Well, absolutely not.
Or is that there's training required, or there's there's practice.
It's going through the levels that I have described previously. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of it's that learning process. And you know what? Some people are total naturals. Once they get started on this, they get it. All right. For the rest of us, like me, it took me a long time to get there. But now that I've got this recipe here for you, you start at level 1 and you work your way up, and you try the different ones. And each one, like I say, is a little bit. One is set your own goal. Another one is just pick out a company that you love, organization that you love, and ask yourself, what do they do amazingly well? Or another one is like, you ask yourself the question, you pick out somebody that you admire, in maybe it's Steve Jobs, who knows? And you ask yourself this question, you say, okay, this situation that we want to work on, what would Steve Jobs do? I used to ask trade shows when I was doing a lot of consulting for physical trade shows, is they would say, come on, help me get some new ideas. And I would say, okay, imagine this. Walt Disney buys your trade show. And next year he's going to reopen it. What would Walt Disney do with your trade show? Now imagine that. Imagine somebody like Walt Disney doing something like that. So
yeah, it's a great thought experiment. It is wonderful, wonderful. Now, if you need help, your level 7 is to bring in a stealing genius sensei.
Yeah, sensei, black belt.
Say more about that.
Well, that's what it's that. Right now, and I'll be completely honest with you. Okay, right now I am the sensei, and and I would love to hand this off to people, but essentially you bring somebody like me in, and I take you through some of this process, and in workshops, in field trips, things like that. We've done this. Yeah. We've done this all over the U.S., and it has just been spectacularly successful for many, many companies. It's a lot of fun, and it opens your eyes to a world that most people just they walk out of these meetings, they just go, I had no idea we could do this kind of stuff. So that's something
to look forward to. Would you ever train other people to become senseis?
I would train you, my friend.
Would you? Okay, sign me up, man.
I would say,
sign me up. I would love to do it.
I would say that I could train, I would be, I probably will do that. And it will, yes, I will probably do that.
That's an awesome idea. I would, put me on the list, please, as your first, trained black belt.
Okay.
I'm optimistic about
I think
that.
I think my spoken out wife, Kay, probably is a black belt. So
you think so? Okay.
Yeah,
well, then
I'll probably is. Unfortunately, sorry. She'll.
That's okay. No, I understand.
You can be my first outside black belt.
Fantastic. Okay.
So take us out of here. All right.
This enough
about me.
Fantastic. Yeah, enough about me. What do you think of me?
Yeah. What do you think about me?
This has been great. I loved it for coming into a podcast episode without having any idea what we were going to talk about.
I had no idea
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then just the coincidence of me receiving and reading a book of yours that'll be out in a week. and out by the time that anyone's hearing this. That is just an amazing turn of events.
And I'm touched that you would even remember getting my book.
Happy to have talked about this. So this has been the B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast with Not the Rockstar, Steve Miller, and the voice, the Dave Loomis.
Oh.
And we hope that you will return and that you're just completely jazzed by everything that we talk about, and that you will practice strategic improvisation as a result.
That's right. I love it.
So we'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the one and only B2B Marketing and Sales Podcast, the source for B2B marketing and sales insight. If you enjoyed the podcast, please be sure to subscribe and leave these old guys a 5-star rating. Check the show notes for any links and contact information. You can always contact us by going to b2bmarketingsalespodcast.com. Thank you, and keep on marketing. Keep on selling.